Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little video so you can get to know me a little bit better and just tell you some fun random facts, answer some questions that I have gotten on my TikTok, and just kind of introduce myself. My name is Amber. I am about to be 29 years old and I live in Colorado. I grew up outside of San Francisco, about 40 minutes outside of San Francisco, California. I moved to Colorado about 6 years ago, and I moved to the area that my husband grew up in, and we got married 5 years ago. I am a Taurus sun, Libra moon, and Aries rising, and I love everything astrology. I've also been a tarot reader for over 7 years now, and I love to do readings here on YouTube, on TikTok. I also sell personal paid readings, private readings, on any kind of topic that you have questions on, and I'm hoping to create a booth this year for my local festivals and markets, so I'm really excited about that. My dog Lady is making an appearance. Hi Lady. She actually gave me a little black eye, a little bruise on my eye last night. Sit down. Oh gosh. So my YouTube channel is fairly new, and I wanted to also chat about what kind of videos I'll be making in the future, and if you have any video suggestions or videos you'd like me to make in the future, definitely leave them in the comments. But I will be making videos all about astrology, tarot reading, spirituality. Also make some videos about my life, my lifestyle. I am really into natural healing and shadow work, self-development, things like that. So anything under that umbrella I'm interested in making videos on. And new videos come out every Wednesday on my YouTube channel. I also really love crafting, journaling, things like that, but I would love to do some videos on kind of like DIY or spiritual crafts. So if you want that, let me know, because that's something I love to do. I also wanted to share a little bit about my spiritual journey and background, as well as how I became a tarot reader. So growing up, as a child, I wouldn't have called myself very religious or spiritual, but I was in touch or in tune with I think spiritual things. I just didn't really have the language for that, or I didn't really explain it like that, but really in touch with emotions around me, and also really interested in my ancestry and my family lineage, as well as interested in what happens, after life and things of that nature. But in my household, we were not very religious. We did go to Christian church on and off. I only went, there is an age gap between me and my siblings, so for me, I only really experienced that a few times in my life, but I did go to a church. It was actually called the Center for Spiritual Healing, and it was welcoming to all religions or all walks of life, all beliefs, and it's really just a place for people to gather and celebrate and really dive deep into what they believe spiritually. So I used to go to this place with my grandma, and that was a really important piece of my spiritual journey, I feel like, because I became really in touch with what I believed in personally when it came to God and how everything is interconnected. Then as I grew up into my teenage years, I really struggled with feeling lost and feeling like I didn't have connection spiritually and was confused. And into my early adulthood, I am, like I said, 29 now, so I'm still young, but when I reached the age 21, I really became interested in diving deeper into my spirituality, and I found Wicca, which I feel like a lot of people who they call themselves spiritual, or if you consider yourself a pagan, a lot of people I feel of my generation, of my age, have found it through Wicca. That was a really popular thing back in the day, and that is kind of what got me started on my own spiritual journey. And that is when I bought my first tarot deck in 2016, and I started reading for myself. And I would typically read a card for myself every single day, and I really resonated with using tarot cards. And while I really liked Wicca, there were things about it that I didn't enjoy and I didn't necessarily relate to. And so I kind of let go of practicing Wicca after a few years. I met my husband, and he also did not grow up very spiritual or religious, so I kind of would consider myself a pagan, but I wasn't really practicing spiritually every single day or doing spiritual practices. Then about 5 or so years ago, I became interested in getting back into it and being more spiritually devoted as well, and doing more research and refinement into what I believe and really making it a bigger part of my life. So I built an altar for myself. It started with just a shelf that I called the Little Me altar, where I just put stuff for me, the inner child, little me, as I call it, just things that I liked, pictures, flowers that I had picked, or just souvenirs or trinkets that meant something to me. And it kind of expanded into multiple shelves, and I have an ancestor shelf, I have my shelf, I have a whole shelf dedicated to all my Nordic treasures and my Norse paganism that I really love the imagery and symbolism and heritage of, because that is specifically my heritage. And that just became a daily practice of bringing water or an offering to my altar, spending time at my altar, or doing research. It just kind of transformed from there. And I also really loved doing different rituals with the full moon and the moon cycles. That also led me down a path to learn about herbalism, using herbs for magical properties, etc. And I just fell in love with all of it. And then a few years ago, I decided that I really wanted to read for other people. I had read tarot for others just on and off throughout the years, but I didn't feel like I had the connections to do enough readings for people. So I decided to make a TikTok and just do readings for anyone who wanted to comment and ask me a question, and it kind of just bloomed from there. And 2 years ago, I opened my Etsy shop, so it's just kind of grown from there, and I absolutely love reading tarot for people. It has become such a fun part of my life. And I have kept my spiritual side and my tarot reading side pretty private and quiet for most of my spiritual journey. I have always shared things with close family and friends, but it wasn't until very recently that I just decided to not be afraid or ashamed anymore of who I am or the things that I enjoy or the things that I practice. And I have gotten really amazing feedback. So I'm really hoping to create a booth for my business, Essence of Midnight, for some local festivals and the local farmers market as well, so I can continue to do readings for people in person, because that is something that I don't get to do very often. I live in a very rural area in the mountains, and so I'm really excited to be doing that this summer. I'm really looking forward to it. I have already started planning all of the things I need to set up and get ready, because it's coming right around the corner. And another fun fact about me that is not spiritually related is that I have also been a photographer forever. I mean, I've been taking photos since I was a kid. I've always been in love with cameras and took photography in high school, and then continued to take photography classes into college and did professional photography for years and years and years. I've been doing it consistently here in Colorado for 5 years now, and I just absolutely love it. So that is one thing about me that you might not know, is that I am a professional photographer, and I also work in a bakery. So I am a baker, and I love to make pies and anything sweet. And one of my favorite things to do at work is when I'm making things like such as an apple pie, thinking about all of the properties of the herbs that I'm putting in and spices, and it's just so spiritual for me, baking and cooking, which might sound silly, but it is true. So those are kind of my normie jobs, as I like to call it, outside of my spiritual life and things I share, you know, on my YouTube and TikTok. I have 2 dogs, one you just met, which was Lady, and another dog whose name is Saint, and he is a German Shepherd. And since I love astrology, I'll share my husband's big 3. He is a Sagittarius sun, a Virgo rising, and a Cancer moon. So if you know your big 3, definitely comment them down below, because it's one of my favorite things to engage in the comments on TikTok, is anything to do with your big 3 or astrology. My dream in life is to have lots of land and homestead and just live a super slow life where I can farm and have a magnificent garden and be self-sufficient. That is one of my goals and my husband's goals that we are working towards, and so that is also part of the reason I have created my YouTube channel, is that I can pour out my creativity into something I can do from home, which is really fun outside of my normie job. I love reading, I love nature, and I'm really excited because they just opened some of the gates going up into the mountains, and yesterday I got to spend my first day in the sun, in the woods, in remote forest, and it was so healing. For the first time since last winter, you know, since before last winter, and it was just so healing and so magical, and I can't wait to film some adventures in the woods this year. So that is a little about me. I hope you liked this short video, just kind of getting to know me a little bit better. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment your big 3 in the comments, and make sure to check out my other videos, and I will see you next Wednesday. I wish you all the best. Bye.